Video bandwidth and distribution of Talking Scuba is provided by Blip TV, the next generation television network for independent shows. Do your part by donating today by visiting TalkingScuba.com. Everybody, welcome to another exciting episode of Talking Scuba. I'm Bob Shoemaker, an advanced open water instructor.
I am Mark Christy, and I am the president of the Grand Rapids Scuba Club.
So we have a special guest here this week, a nice, exciting show for you today. We are a bi-weekly show discussing all different types of diving, from cold, deep wrecks to shallow, warm reefs and everything else in between. In this episode, we're going to talk about local diving opportunities we have with Mark in the Grand Rapids Scuba Club, as well as we're going to answer some viewer mail and a poll question. Mark, why don't you give us a little background on yourself and how you got into scuba diving?
Well, I've always wanted to dive as I was a kid.
Sure.
Took me till I was in college and met a friend that was a diver and just decided to take the plunge and do it. I've been certified for 4 years, and all of my experience is in the Midwest.
And there's a lot of people like that. I got, 5 or 6 years under my belt before I ever saw saltwater. And there's a lot of great diving opportunities here locally. Now tell us a little bit about the Scuba Club.
The Scuba Club primarily dives in the Midwest region. We promote local diving, the Great Lakes. There's lots of quarries in this area, which make for good diving, as well as a lot of inland lakes.
Well, what are some of the local lakes you guys do a lot of diving at?
Well, we do weekly dives, rotating between Gull Lake, Baptist Lake, and Lake 16.
Okay.
All are probably within about an hour of Grand Rapids. So, I mean, all three are different environments as well, so you get a different experience every time.
Yeah, I've dove in all those lakes, a million times. They're great places to dive. Baptist is one of my favorites. There's always good opportunities there. We have the freshwater jellies in the fall. There's lots of different structure that we can dive on, and there's just always a ton of fish. The other one, Lake 16, that's always a unique dive.
That is a very unique dive. Of all the places I've dove, it's probably the most unique. It's very dark. It's got a very eerie feeling to it.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship with Lake 16. And what about Gull Lake? You guys do a lot of diving there as well.
Gull Lake is actually one of my favorite lakes in the area. It's got really good visibility most of the time. There's lots of fish, lots of vegetation. So if you like the wildlife aspect of diving, that's great for that. Yeah,
that's one of my favorite places to dive. We were diving there this spring, and when the rock bass were bedded up and everything, and we're swimming along, and I had this rock bass, and I was filming. This rock bass shoots right up into my face and is trying to intimidate me, to scare me off, and so I just kind of went and kind of got him away from me. Well, he turns and looks at my dive buddy, swims directly over to my dive buddy, clamps onto her finger, and she...
That's surprising for a small fish. They are very aggressive when they're in the spawning.
Aggressive. That's a really neat place to dive, though. I love diving at Gull Lake. Now, what else? Tell us a little bit more about your club.
Well, our club has monthly meetings during the winter months. That way we can try and keep our members active in the diving scene, even if they're not in the water. That's the second Monday of every month. And then in the summer we do picnics. We do several travel trips, mostly local stuff, Great Lakes charters, things along those lines. And we also have a big holiday party as well. So that's coming up here pretty quick in January.
Yeah, I think we're January 15th.
Yep, January 15th, so that's a Saturday.
Now, you guys go to Alpena, Sanilac, Charlevoix, Traverse City, those just local kind of regional stuff that's maybe within a couple, 2-3 hours away.
Yeah, I mean, we really want to focus on supporting shops in this area, charters in this area. There's lots of travel agencies that can, support the international scene. But, I mean, the Great Lakes has some of the best shipwreck diving. As you guys know, you've been to lots of them. And we just want to get that word out that this is a great area to dive, and we have a lot of water to cover. So,
and whether you live in Italy or you live in California, you live in Canada, you live in Florida, wherever you're at, the biggest opportunity you're going to have is going to be diving at a local place. Whether it's diving off 7 Mile Bridge in the Keys, or if you're diving around here in Gull Lake. So what we designed this show around is promoting local diving. So we love to see guys like you promoting local diving around here as well. Now, you guys, I think you're only like $20 a year or something like that.
Yep.
Right?
Our membership dues are $20 a year for a household, so I can include your entire family. And this is a family-oriented dive club. From whatever I think the age is 12 on up to, we have members that are in past retirement. So. And then all ranges of divers as well. We have beginning divers, and we have all the way up through technical trimix divers. So we've got a good range of people to learn from and gain experience.
So that $20 gets you the opportunity to go on to all these meetings where you have some guest speakers and things like that. as well as some of the raffles and stuff that you do.
Yep, the dues definitely allow us to have a holiday party. We have the trips, like you said, and typically all of these things are open to members only. That's the advantage of paying the $20 is that you get these extra things. It's not just going out and meeting someone and diving with them. So
sure, and then, but like you say, anytime you get to meet other people that are active in the local diving community, gives you an opportunity to meet new people and learn new things because they are, everybody dives a little bit differently, and maybe you can get an opportunity to learn something from them. So whereabouts can we find the information about your club?
You can find us on Facebook, just Grand Rapids Scuba Club. We also have a forum on scubaboard.com, as well as our website, which is www.grscubaclub.com.
Good. Well, I want to, we're going to answer some viewer email, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, sounds great.
We're going to talk a little bit about some leg cramps, I think. This is a message from Ed Helm, who happens to be right here in the room. But so how do you deal with your leg cramps underwater? How do you deal with them?
If they're not too bad, typically I'll get neutrally buoyant and grab the end of my fin and pull it up towards my shin. Stretch that out as much as possible. If it's bad enough, and depending where I'm at, I may even take my fin off to get my leg to relax and my foot to relax. So I have done that, doing some playing around and some skills work on the platform and get a bad cramp, just take a fin off and stretch it out. Plus, it's good practice to be able to take your fin on and off in case you ever kick one off. So.
Yeah, I agree with that. Definitely grabbing the end of your fin and pulling back on it. But the best way to deal with those is to prevent them from happening. So, grab a banana. You want to be high in potassium before you get into the water. But also keeping yourself hydrated. This cold, frothy beverages they taste good, but they do not help with leg cramps, and they probably hurt you in other ways too before dives. But make sure that you're getting a lot of fluids in you, and all of that is going to prevent you from getting leg cramps in the first place. So the best recommendation I have for you, try to prevent it before it gets to that point. So thank you, Ed, for that question. We're going to also move on to our poll question of the week. Last week we had about 20-some people vote on our last one, but this time we're going to talk about something a little bit different. Now, do you own or rent your own equipment? You can go to talking-scuba.com and vote on our website, and hopefully we'll see you there. Now, what did you do when you first got your equipment?
When I first got into diving, I rented from several different dive shops, so that way I could get a range of equipment, different manufacturers, trying out different setups, see what I liked. It didn't last very long. Rental gear has its problems. People just don't take care of it. It's not theirs. So it didn't last very long, and then shortly after that, probably, I want to say around my 6th or 7th dive, we just made the purchase and just went to a dive shop, said what we wanted to do, and purchased our gear and haven't looked back. So.
Sure, I think that's one of the most important things you can do is, dive a lot of different setups. Find out what's comfortable with you. Do you like rear inflation? Do you like a jacket style BC? Do you like split fins? Do you like paddle fins? There's a wide variety of options that you can go with. Do you like aluminum or steel tanks? Do you want to go with a 7mm suit, or do you want to just jump right into a dry suit? There's a million different questions you want to go through. And usually the person that's helping you, at your local dive shop, purchase this equipment will ask you that question. Well, what do you want to do? Well, I'd like to get into wreck diving. Well, maybe a rear inflate style BC would be something that you'd want to look into. Maybe you'd want to even get into a plate and wing, which I think you purchased one this year.
Yeah, my first BC was actually a jacket style, which is nice. It's good for learning. It gives you good support on the surface. But as I've gotten more advanced, I found that it can be, for me at least, it was a little bit fighting the trim a lot because of the way the air rolls and doesn't stay on the back. Recently, when I did purchase my backplate wing, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And it's a good setup. So, but here again, even I thought what I loved at first maybe wasn't so great after I got more experience.
Sure, yeah. And, I still dive both. I have a jacket style BC that I dive most often when I'm doing, recreational stuff, or if I'm doing filming. I like the way it feels, and it's also got the inflator deflator down here, so I can adjust my buoyancy without really having to change body position, so I don't have to change my buoyancy while I'm trying to make a shot or whatever. So I really like it for that. But for rear inflate, to throw, it's a little bit more streamlined. It opens up your front side, so you don't have so much going on up here. Yeah. You might have an extra pocket or two, but at least you're not so bulky if you're trying to perform an operation of some sort. So yeah, you want to go through all those different things before you actually purchase your equipment, and it's a great way Renting equipment is a great way to get experience with different styles of equipment.
Sure, and I think to add to that, if you already own your own gear and you're thinking about purchasing something new, maybe go out and rent it before you buy it. Save yourself some money because you may not like it after you purchased it. So.
Yeah, and a lot of times dive shops will let you jump in the pool with a piece of equipment before you purchase it. So, well, thank you very much for coming on the show today, Mike or Mark. Anyways, follow us on Twitter and Facebook, but don't forget to visit our website, talking-scuba.com. You can vote on the poll. And check out all the new stuff we have up there. I think me and Jim are also writing blogs now, and I've got a couple things up on my blog so far, and that's been really successful. So we need you guys to send us some email, ask us some questions, so that we have viewer email that we can answer here. fans@talking-scuba.com. We would love to read those on the air. So thanks everybody for watching. Before I go though, we are going to mention, because I forget every effing week, buy our stickers. For a donation of $5, you get 3 stickers. We will send them directly to your house. We've had a lot of success with that. I know our buddy down south of here, Owen, he's already got them on his tanks and his favorite beer mug and everything like that. So he sent us some pictures. That's another thing. Send us some pictures. We love to see you guys supporting the show all across the world. And we're excited to have you. So, anyways, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll be back with you next week to the next dive.
Till next time.